anyways.
Yeah.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show. I'm your host, Bryan, and I am joined with my two fantastic hosts. We have Sarah Carey.
Hello.
And Daniel Jerome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 12, The Inside Man. If you are in the chat, thank you so much for joining us live. If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to talk to us all throughout the week using the hashtag AOSAS, and we will be chatting back with you either in YouTube or on Twitter. So let's get into this. What did you guys think of this week?
This episode for me was just a bunch of like hits. 1 hit, 2 hits, uppercuts, like back slaps. Because I was just confused the whole time.
This was abusive to
It
me.
was abuse. Like there was a moment I'm like, wait, he's a bad guy, he's a good guy, he's a bad guy. Wait, what's happening? And that's just kind of how I felt until it all gets cleared up in the end. But I'm just like, ugh.
So there was an argument in the writer's room, and the person who came in and had to straighten it up said, just do both.
Yeah.
It makes it easier. It makes it easier for me.
I like both ideas. Find a way to make both work.
There you go. That makes more sense for me. For me, it was more like, best way to say it was a roller coaster of suspense. That's what I felt. That's what I experienced. And it was great. I loved it.
Yeah. I enjoyed this week. For me, it was like, hey, these are our mutants, and we're going to acknowledge the X-Men universe in as many ways as possible without saying mutants.
Well, because they're not allowed to.
It was a very
Mutants is a
interesting.
4-letter word in the MCU, but it has more than 4 letters.
Well,
So, anyways, let's just jump right in. I think each week we're going to start with kind of a state of the team. It's our own little state of the union. So, first, Shake and Bake, the unofficial sponsors of the show. Shake and Bake.
Oh my gosh.
Lincoln and Skye, or Daisy, sorry.
I call her Skye still too because
Yeah.
I get confused.
well, that's not her name.
It's both.
That's
It goes by both.
that's hurtful to her.
Well, and it was hurtful because Lincoln reminded her of her past, which apparently you're not allowed to do.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, shh. But can they have a conversation that doesn't end with, hey,
Oh God.
hey, baby?
Hey, let's all fight this out and get hot and sweaty. And, I just love that Lincoln couldn't even pick up on that huge hint that was laid out in front of him. Hey, I just want to punch around and get sweaty with you and get some pulses going.
It's like, yeah, but wouldn't you rather watch bad TV or something?
Such a dude.
Stay over there, and I'm gonna play video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lincoln did not understand anything that was happening. He was completely oblivious to it. I mean, at one moment when they were fighting and she was on top of him, it was kind of like, you weigh a lot, get off, you're sweaty. It was like he didn't want anything to do with her, and that was
Like,
it.
Lincoln, do you like her? Do you like her?
He's like, yeah, when's Mac gonna get back? Well, he called next game. And,
Yeah. Speaking of the team, where was Mac?
yeah, the kind of the highlight of the team was missing this week. Mac, I hope he was just out getting his shotgun axe.
Maybe.
Oh, nice. Nice.
He just took that sabbatical and ran with it. He's never coming back.
Well, he has to because he took off with Yo-Yo and she always comes back.
That's what I'm saying. There you go. And I'm thinking
Oh, I see what you did
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
he's building that relationship that I pointed out to last week
Yeah.
with him and Yo-Yo, and how maybe it's not Yo-Yo on there and it's actually him. He has her cross, and well, that's what's happening. You don't want to admit it. but I know it.
The more you talk about it, the more I'm slowly starting to accept your theory.
So, next group on the team, I'm going to say Hunter, Bobby, and May. We'll just tie May into this because Hunter and Bobby, they got some bad blood.
Yeah. Just a little.
Well, with Hunter's like, oh, I want to throw him off the plane, and she's like, yeah, I want to throw you off the plane.
Yeah.
That was a nice moment there.
It's love. It's all love.
No. It's a
Well,
lot of love lost.
And I think if people don't get her animosity towards him, this is in reference to when they were undercover and going after Ward, and it was a moment of go after Ward or save Andrew, and he took his shot, and man, he's a crappy shot.
Isn't he supposed to be like the best sniper? Like, isn't he supposed to like be really good at his job?
Yeah, but I think he's also a stormtrooper, and
Fair enough.
No, well,
Fair
then
enough.
that explains it.
Yeah,
It's in his DNA.
he can't help it. He can't help it. He's British, and
Oh,
what
wow.
happens.
Ooh.
No?
no, go back to the original trilogy. All the bad guys are British. See?
Touche.
See? That is scientific proof.
Fountain of knowledge.
Nice.
So, and then Fitz and Simmons are back to season 1.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they have. That's about it. That's
There's nothing more to say
sad.
there.
Like, I was
It is
really
sad.
hoping the reset wasn't going to be a complete reset. I wanted them to just take a step back and still, like...
The one thing I will say is there was so much going on in this episode that it's possible they're like, we just...
Don't have time.
We will get there, but we've got about 5 or 6 different twists we have to throw into this episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, she fixed his brain problem. And that's what we get.
She fixed his
She
brain problem.
fixed it.
That's true.
No, he fixed it himself.
With the help of a strong woman.
And a good
Wow.
coach.
Nailed it.
I love it.
So now moving on to someone who's not on the team anymore, Mr. Hive Ward.
Hive Ward.
We got to see a lot of him this week.
A lot.
A lot of him.
A lot of him.
Yeah,
Yes.
there he is. There he is.
Wow.
I think he had dandruff and he used too much.
It's just
Too
yeah.
much.
This-
yeah.
It's a little T-gel problem.
Yeah. So
No.
what's going on with Ward? Do we think he ate those people?
Absolutely.
Well, he absorbed their essence or something like that to become
Yeah.
like fully
Complete?
restored. Yeah, for
little-
for a
he's-
moment.
He went, the homeopathic route. And
It's all natural.
it's all natural.
I'm sorry. Are these humans organic?
Do they live the vegan diet?
Are they farm raised? I
Farm
I
raised?
can't know.
Did they live a happy life on the farm?
It's cage free. Wow, that's terrible. But so we're getting more about Ward. He
Yeah.
talks to him as a we, almost in that kind of symbiotic way you would see Venom talking in the
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, in the comics, he is a kind of just a group of spores of like these alien spores.
Exactly.
Which
So
we see him shooting off at people.
yeah, they're a lot smaller in the TV show than they are in the comics. But
Yeah.
so he's a hive mind. Hey.
Hey,
That was good. That was good.
good pun.
Yeah.
One of the questions I have about Ward, and if you're in the chat, let me know if you guys noticed this. All the TVs he's watching, the one in the center is a factory.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like building cars. Does this confuse anyone else?
It's like
this
when
like
they
an
were
inside
choosing.
joke?
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's like when they were choosing stock footage. They're like, "What do we have left? All right, fine. Just go ahead and put it in the factory."
We
I
ran
love
out
the
of
factory.
we ran out of all of the war footage for some reason.
That's it.
But we've got this. They're making Volkswagens. Put that in the middle because
That's
it's
a safe
green.
car.
You know.
It's important.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why he's watching
I
that.
don't.
Maybe it will pay off later in one
There
of the
we
many
go.
other twists that are going to be coming our way.
See?
The only thing I can think is that that's a Hydra-owned company, and these are all like Hydra assets or Hydra projects, but it still doesn't make any sense. Hey, how are our stocks doing in the automotive industry? Can you pull up that on the
Well, they
center
got bailed
screen?
out, so we're good to go.
Oh,
okay,
exactly.
yeah.
There you go.
So, okay, that I don't know.
Lord.
Anything else with Ward from this week? I mean,
Well, after eating them, he's fully healed, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Ward, alive.
oh yeah, he's getting his coffee.
Getting his coffee.
Oh, look at him. Okay, who can
That
that
was
see
a-
that face?
I am legitimately impressed by that makeup they had on him for the malnutrition ward.
With the rib prosthetics
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
cheekbones
right?
and the clavicles. It looks amazing.
And the handprint, where he got the
yeah.
darkened
Oh.
spot that looks like
Where he crushed his chest.
Yeah, that's if you take a look at that, it actually is a handprint. 'Cause
Oh, jeez.
there
didn't
was
really
the
realize
heat
that.
of his justice. Or
Of his justice claw hand.
I don't know.
Coulson.
It's Coulson. It's
Coulson,
so, but
renegade.
yeah, Ward is now back to normal Ward strength or normal Ward Hive strength. We'll see. I guess the question is if Ward Hive can absorb non-Inhumans, because we did get that he can't
Yeah,
eat
they can't eat their
Inhumans.
own kind.
Yeah. Can he then just essentially stay alive forever without having to change bodies? Because he also said he could only go into a dead body. We
Yeah.
got a lot of like these little rules that he had to follow.
Yeah.
But
very true.
does this mean then is
Yes,
you
please.
pointing at me.
Please. No,
does this mean that Ward is actually healed and kind of living alive inside of Hive?
I don't know. I think we'll find out more essentially as we get more of the rules, because I feel like there are rules for how Hive works, and that's probably what we'll figure out. So don't forget, give us questions in the chat, and use the hashtag AOSAS, because we will be chatting with you all week, because we've only got a little amount of time, but we're getting to as much as we can. So that takes us to our next topic, the big event of this week, the Symposium. This is where it got really wink and nod to the X-Men mutants, the Register. I mean, but also to Civil War. I think there's a lot of parallels here with a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. With putting them in camps, they want to maybe put all of them in one island together.
Yeah. When they're talking about that one community, there's a couple things that stand out to me. One, you have Adelon, which is actually the Inhumans floating city that moves around a lot. It was in the Himalayas. It was on the moon. That stood out to me because it is literally the home of the Inhumans.
Right.
Okay.
This is not what it's going to be. I just think it's important to recognize that, because this is probably definitely being saved for the movie. But then this does have very strong parallels to Genosha.
Yeah, indeed.
From the X-Men, this was that mutant community that originally was like an internment camp, but then Magneto took it over and turned it into a nation, and then it was destroyed, and like it does.
Like this.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on. But then we have Talbot at this meeting.
Oh my God.
Before we get to his twist.
So confused. This whole scene.
I called it.
So not only did he, in his acting, accuse everyone of being the spy, he also, I'm pretty sure, offended everyone there.
Was Talbot always a secret racist?
I just think
he's Russian.
Yeah, I was like,
Asian.
What does that have
that's
to do
a
with
woman.
it? I was like, congratulations, you can point out things. But
I feel
why?
silly in this dress.
Really? Oh God. It was so uncomfortable. It literally was. It's like that moment where you're sitting there with that relative that you just don't want to get drunk, and when they do, you're just like, it's okay. He's from a different time. It's like one of those. That's what it felt like. Yeah, he was in Nam.
So the outcome of this, they want to know if they're going to put everyone in one place. Also, it sounds like they want something along the lines of the Registration Act, or what in Civil War is going to be the Accords.
Yeah.
We need to know, everyone needs to be registered. We need to know who they are and what they can do, blah, blah, blah. So even though the TV show and the movies will not be intermingling in the way that all of us really, really want, this is the show's attempt at acknowledging, I think, what is going to come from Civil War. That
to give us a little hint, a little
the kind of the good powered versus the bad powered, the powers that follow the law.
But who chooses who the good power is and who the bad power is?
And
it could be anyone.
Well, it's whoever has the most power, essentially. I mean, that's how it always works.
But also, this is, I think, going to be deep in the argument of what Tony and Steve Rogers are dealing with, and that's kind of the who decides who gets to use their powers, who decides, like, people have to get licensed for cars, for guns, for just fishing. Fishers, don't even get me started. But you have people who are as powerful as a missile, as guns, as nuclear weapons.
Right.
And
we've got Quake who can just cause earthquakes, and the guy Lincoln can just shoot electricity out of his hands.
And this debate actually gets started at the beginning of the episode with between Bobby and Daisy. They have their, we don't make all humans register. Well, not all humans can do
what we can do.
X, Y, or Z, So
it's a fair argument, but at the same time, for anyone with the Civil War argument, if they're going to have a secret identity and people aren't going to know who they are, then that puts their families at risk.
Right.
So.
And this is kind of the side Captain America always did take, was where does the line of the government's responsibility versus individual freedoms and liberty, where's that line? Absolutely. And so that's the debate that's happening in much more coded terms, I think.
Instead of being like, hey, that's what's happening now.
Yeah. Yeah. But also at the same time, ew, mutants.
They're icky.
Yeah.
I would try the fish oil, guys.
Come on,
I think all of
already
us
said we
would
would.
totally try the fish oil. But moving this kind of mutant parallel and metaphor along, we have Creel returning this week, and he was
Yeah.
awesome. More of those twists with him. Don't know where he stands.
Good guy, bad guy.
Although in Talbot's defense, Talbot didn't lie about him. I trust this man with my life, and
true.
he was very honest with him.
Oh yeah.
But we find out Creel's inherent ability could act as a vaccine against Terrigenesis.
Right.
People in the chat, before we started tonight, were obviously drawing the parallel with X-Men 3. God rest that movie. May it die slowly or quickly and painfully. But that's a common theme also with the X-Men and mutants. Just a cure or a way to prevent mutants, things like that.
Things like that.
And even they talk about this group, the Watchdogs. And this, I think, is a straight shout out to one of a dozen groups in the comics, like the Friends of Humanity.
Right.
Which, if you're familiar with the X-Men 90s cartoon, was basically a big bunch of crazy white guys. Yeah, look at that picture.
That's not familiar at all.
No.
Yeah. No, they're totally good guys, though. Look, they got friends in their name.
Yeah, come on, right?
We are friends.
So,
Other than like birds.
Humanity.
so this is not going to be the end of this whole Crusher Creel's blood. I think that's definitely going to come into play, especially once this information leaks to, say, Gideon Malick. Or even just different groups in the government. You know.
Yeah, true. I honestly think, or I'm looking forward to seeing how far they'll be able to push it. And with that being the case, will later this be involved with the Inhumans film?
I think we all want it to be, but I think we all know it won't be.
Okay.
They're starting it now. The Inhuman movie comes out in like a year, 2 years.
I just keep trying to push anything close
2019?
to the films.
So
We just,
3 years.
all of us are like,
We
and
all
it would be
want it.
great if the films pick this up. Yeah.
But if you had the choice of getting the vaccine or not, would you guys take it?
It's one of those things because what Lincoln has been saying is Terrigenesis, the powers you get fit a need.
Right.
And I think that's why Lash is who he is, because you have this uncontrolled Terrigenesis. So the need that was deemed necessary was kind of culling the random and excessive mutations. I'm going to say it. I'm going to use the M word, mutations.
Ooh.
I know, right? But so in that case, Lash, who cannot control himself. So you're not going to get powers that are always to your liking,
Absolutely not.
or that make you look pretty, or
Yeah.
because in a lot of cases, you turn into monsters,
Porcupine.
creatures. Yeah. Look at Reyna.
That sounds like Reyna.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And by the way, makeup looked fabulous on her. She looked
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I think I'd still try. I think
You're
my
like-
curiosity would just be.
As far as the vaccine, you mean
Yeah.
I already am an Inhuman. Would I take the vaccine, or
Yeah.
you mean it depends on what power, like I said, what power I get? Because
I mean,
if all of a
we've
sudden
already established we'd all try it.
well, yeah, yeah. So
Well,
let's say
but-
we tried it, it worked out great,
But
but
based
then
on,
all of a sudden,
based on what the show said, once you've gone through Terrigenesis, this will not remove.
It just prevents.
It just prevents it.
oh wow.
So that's
So-
you don't get to find out. It's not like you take it and it's like,
Right.
holy crap, what happened to me? I'll take a dose of that, please.
So do you think people should have the choice?
That's and see, that's again the argument that Lincoln and Daisy were having.
yeah, exactly.
Lincoln says yes, which is because what he was saying, he didn't have this kind of glorious awakening that Daisy did, where she
Right.
found her heritage, found her family, found purpose. It's just, wow, this happened to me, and now I'm ripped out of my life, and I have to go stay here, and now my new life was destroyed, and his Terrigenesis has just been a series of loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's understandable why he would say, well, then yes, I think that there should be a choice, and I would take it, et cetera, versus someone who, I mean, was just ushered in with like, hey, everything's great for you. Here goes your mother, who's apparently the queen of the current Inhumans, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I would go same way as him. Well, maybe I don't want this.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think everyone should have the choice.
Yeah.
If it's known in the public that this is a possibility that this could happen to you, absolutely, you should be able to choose whether to take the red pill or the blue pill.
That's it.
Now, last topic before break. We had the most epic bromance form this week.
Yes.
I'm calling it the Toll House bromance.
Right there.
It started rough, but a lot of people, I think we all had the same emotional arc on this. They're like, oh, this is great. Coulson's he's being nice. He's not picking on him too much. Talbot, what is wrong with? Oh, wait, he kidnapped his son.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
He gets a pass.
He gets a
Yeah.
pass.
He gets a pass this time.
Yeah, because
He's going to be a jerk again. It's just in his nature.
Yeah, as I think we all saw as he's mingling at the party, he can't help himself.
Yeah, no, but I'm digging, like you said, the bromance. I mean, if I could
think-
ship them,
Yeah, I think it's gonna
right?
blossom.
It's Coulson happening all over.
Coulson. The best. Where's the fan fiction, guys? Let's make that happen.
Come on, get on that. Okay, so we're gonna be back in just a minute. Give us your questions if you're in the chat, and if you're not in the chat, remember use that hashtag. But we'll be right back after a quick break.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live. In case you missed it live.
Oh, you'd want to take the time travel the whole way back.
How did we not figure that out?
We had a crazy vampire threesome, and you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now.
I was like, how did you get here? No. Look at me, I'm dancing.
You know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes.
He was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is like something.
And we're like, ooh, inseparable. She was shadier than Sunglass Hut with Ray-Bans on sale, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it wasn't. So come on.
You just went to a totally different direction on that.
When a billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
Hold the phone,
Hold on.
bro.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
Oh man, looking forward to this fight.
Ooh, they about to get together. Watch, it's about to go down.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
She just slapped the crap out of Nick.
And he's just
It's all good.
You can't count anything out.
Look at you.
It's been another awesome night at the Stream.tv,
always
guys.
awesome.
Thank you for joining us, you guys. We love you.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are going to jump straight into the Twitter comments and questions that we thought were outstanding this week, and actually hit a lot of the questions that people are bringing up in the chat. So, Daniel, what do you got?
Well, our first come from sort of that guy, which I love the name. Look, I know people have issues with Grant Ward, rightly so, but a honey-drenched Brett Dalton all day, every day. Sorry, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And I think a lot of people pointed out in that moment where he's coming up, that was completely the Terminator. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Right,
I think
exactly.
we all started singing the Terminator theme song at that moment, but
Don't.
like we said, he is back to his
His new truth? Is that what you're going to say?
his healthy self.
He's living his truth.
Healthy,
Let it
handsome
happen.
self.
But actually, that takes us to, I think, number 2. What do you got?
Number 2. Well, Comic Goober, 1993. Love the name. Love it. Yo, if Ward's body is healed, then that means theoretically they should be able to get Hive out and bring Ward back.
Now, this, for people who don't know what Comic Goober's talking about, it's a reference to the comics. Madam Hydra was shot dead, and Hive kind of took her over and brought her back to life
Yes.
somehow, comics. But then they removed the big old octopus on her head.
Yeah,
and
essentially.
She, as far as we know, was just Madam Hydra, right?
Well, Viper, right?
Oh, Viper. Well,
yeah.
interchangeable names at that point.
Yeah, exactly. It's still the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. You can replace it, and it's still the same. So, but yeah, I mean, I actually think that's something that's interesting. And
So yes, that is a potential outcome here. We'll see.
yeah. Moving on.
One more.
Okay, I don't know how to say this name. This person says.
It's Justin Brown is the person's name, and they wrote their name in a weird way backwards.
Oh my!
I just figured that out.
I'm so bad at that. That was like, right there. Justin, I care and love for you. I want to see Daredevil go up against Creel like his father before him.
Now,
It's a big combo in the chat right
yeah,
now.
this
too.
is a reference to a really small Easter egg in season 1 of Daredevil. There it is.
Boom.
We didn't see it that clearly in the show. It was it was like
No.
a really quick. But yeah, Carl Crusher Creel went up against Battling Jack Murdoch.
That's right. So yeah, I'd be down to see it.
I would. You know,
I
get a
definitely
little
would.
fisticuffs.
It'd be awesome.
Right? But would they pick the same actor, or would they choose someone else?
You know what? They got to pick the same
know.
actor. They got to do it. Just to make the fans happy that some of the properties are crossing over. Netflix and ABC, since the movies are so out of reach.
Yeah.
Anything in the chat room we haven't talked about?
So the big chat thing was with the boxing, and also some people talking about, so Ward can come back? It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Small.
Take it with a grain of salt, because this is based on one instance in the comics. And it actually takes place in the Secret Warriors storyline, like that series, which is where they're getting a lot of their material and characters and story ideas from. So there you go. It's a possibility. Thanks, guys, for joining us this week. This was a great episode. Next week, is next week our backdoor pilot for Marvel's Most Wanted?
Maybe.
Ooh.
There was a lot of
Yeah,
setup
actually,
for that
There was.
in this episode.
It seems like that could be what we have next week. A lot of Hunter Bobby off on their own. So next week, Agents of
Your
S.H.I.E.L.D.
favorite.
Most Wanted.
Yes. Oh my God. Just a whole Bobby series by herself. I don't care. That's all I want.
So guys, until next week, make sure to use that hashtag AOSAS. Leave comments down below. Click subscribe, because then you will know when we are, because next week we might be at a little bit of a different time. So
We'll keep you posted.
yeah, we'll keep you posted. We'll use that hashtag. We'll use the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hashtag. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sarah, Daniel.
Hey.
And
Your vast
thank you for
knowledge.
watching us. Until next week, this has been the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show on the Stream TV. Yeah.